So I'm gonna run through 3 quick little mobility exercises that we've been doing this week. We take about 15 minutes. You can kind of spread these out throughout the day. You can do them all at once, whatever you want. I like doing them in the morning to get my morning started off right. First, we're gonna take a band. I've actually got 2 bands with some decent tension linked together. Then I'm gonna put them right on the very top of my leg, so it's right below the crest of my hip here. And I'm gonna get a little tension here. You can get as wide of a stance as you want. A more narrow stance is fine for kind of more traditional deadlift. If you want to get a real wide stance, it's just going to hit different angles. So none of it's wrong, none of it's right. The big emphasis that you want to keep the weight kind of forward in the toes. The knees stay forward over the midfoot. So we don't want everything to shift. We don't want everything to shift back. We just want our hips and legs to shift back. Again, this band is on top of the leg. It's not on top of the hips. We're trying to kind of pull that femur back as we rotate that pelvis and get that big stretch here in the back of the legs, and then scoop back up. You can add a kettlebell to this and actually do a deadlift, working that kettlebell back towards those ankles and then scooping back under. I've been having a lot of issue on my right side, so something I've been doing is just going the right leg, and I've been playing with all sorts of different angles here. And then I'm going even a staggered stance where I've got 90% of my weight here in the front leg, and I really focus on pushing the inside of my foot down, specifically the big toe and the knuckle of the big toe. And then I can get that same kettlebell back here, reach across, and try to get that big expansion of the back side of that hip, and then scoop back up. And this is just an angle that works for me. Literally, all the angles are good. So if a different angle works for you, you can come all the way in here and do the same type deal, and that's a whole different feel. None of it's right, none of it's wrong. I usually get about 10 reps with both, 2 rounds through, and then I'll come through and do some work on that single leg, and then maybe the other leg as well if I have time. After that, I'm coming through, and I've got smaller bands, less tension coming through here. It's important, I've got 2 of them looped together. It's important that I put my hand through and then grab it like this. We don't want the forearm to overpower this move. All right, I'm gonna sit in a 90-90. So if I have the band with my right hand, my left knee will be forward. I'm gonna try to sit up tall, and I need my left hand to support me. If you get real good at this, you won't need that opposite hand. So I'm gonna reach, and I'm loading this hip, the front leg, and I'm really reaching towards my anchor, and I sit up, and I row. And I'm trying to take this left arm off. I'm trying to push this left knee down into the ground. And I'm using my torso and my trunk to sit up. All right, so I'm trying to come here and use that torso to sit up. You can feel that QL, that core, those obliques all working. Reach and row. If you want to get real fancy, you can reach, row, come around and press. Reach, row, come around and press. Reach, row, come around, and then try to hold that tension there. It's a lot trickier than it looks. Sit in, reach, and try to hold. The longer you can hold that, the more control you have over it. That's awesome. Then the last thing that I've been doing is working on some rotation. I've got the fun. Once that strap, you can use a regular handle, you can use a rope, you can use a couple bands, that all works great. You can do this from a standing position. We're gonna have our outside foot forward, we're gonna row, and then we're gonna chop down and through. We're gonna row, swing that back arm through, and keep tension both here in the strap and in the cable. So I'm gonna row and I'm gonna push through because I'm pushing from this core. Now, you can do that standing, but I actually really enjoy doing it kneeling down. I'll show you why here. I've also lowered this angle. I'm trying to get a little more rotation than chop down here. So I've got my inside knee down, and just specifically for me and some of the golf and some issues I've been dealing with, I'm doing that same row and sweep, but I'm staying taller and coming around, and I'm able to feel that a little more in my ribs and my torso, and I'm getting a lot more movement in here. So again, same movement, just a little different angle. It's tricky because I don't want to come here and pull. I don't want to make that motion, and I don't want to lose tension here in this, what's that strap? Here, and then sweep around. So I'm gonna row and then sweep out and around, and I'm making sure that all that movement happens from the torso. So I'll get 10, 12 on each side there, 10, 12 each side with that band, and then I'll roll through that a couple times on each side. I'll roll through that 2, 3 times, hit some single leg stuff there, and then I may do some rolling or some Theragun on my calves, do some basic calf raises and hangs, things like that. But those 3 moves are what we're working this week. If you got questions, holler at me. Hope that helps. Have a good workout.